Welcome, and thank you all for attending. Today is our Centennial, a great anniversary. On this day, we look in both directions. We will pay homage to our past, and we will also turn towards our future. We will do this with endurance, using our history as the purpose and drive for our continued excellence in service. We will begin with our color guard leading us in the flag salute and pledge of allegiance.
Uniform personnel, attend, hut! Uniform personnel, present, arms! Ready, begin!
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Uniform personnel, order, arms! Uniform personnel, at ease.
Please be seated. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge some important city dignitaries. With us today, we have Mayor Suzanne Fuentes, Councilmember Carol I was going to hold the applause to the end. Councilmember Carol Perstek, Councilmember Mike Dugan, and City Manager Greg Carpenter. We want to thank you for taking the time to be here with us today. I would now like to introduce you to Father Alexei Smith to perform our invocation.
Before I give the prayer, I'd like to take this moment to publicly acknowledge the wondrous efforts of the El Segundo Fire Department in combating the arson fire at our parish a couple of years ago. You were absolutely extraordinary. I also wish to commend the paramedics here who, with increasing frequency, have to come to my neighbor's house, and she's very appreciative of all that you do for her. Let us pray. O God of the selfless, God of the strong and the brave, grant your loving care to those who dedicate their lives to our safety, who have answered the call of honor, duty, and service, who risk life and limb to fight fires in our city. Grant them wisdom and skill when split-second decisions mean life or death. May they stay alert in the face of fatigue. May they stand true in the face of danger. May they return to this firehouse in wholeness and peace. Today, O Lord, we celebrate the 100th anniversary of the founding of our El Segundo Fire Department. May the memories of our past members be sanctified with joy and love and thanksgiving. O Rock of Ages, stronghold and shelter, bless with your care the current members of our fire department. In their work, bless them with fortitude and resilience, insight and judgment. Bless their lives with joy and health, security and well-being. Bless the depth of their commitment to our community as they fight fires, protect property, and save lives. And bless their families who generously lend them to us for our safety. Protect them from the unexpected. Let the deeds of our firefighters resound with passion and courage, the calling of their profession. And may they truly be a source of blessing in our midst. Amen.
I would now like to introduce Honorable Mayor Fuentes for a few words.
Thank you for everybody for coming. It's my honor to represent the city, the council, and I also like to recognize Councilmember Don Brand, who just showed up. The fire department is so important to our city. Just think about it. We just celebrated our centennial in January, and the people who founded our city thought that it was so important to have a fire department that within 90 days, today's date, 90 days, they formed a fire department. So thank you for all you've done. I personally have received extraordinary care from you and my family. How many people have had the fire department come to their home or the home of somebody that they know? You touch everybody, and you're such an important part of our community, being involved in our charities and CASE and everything else. So congratulations, thank you, and happy anniversary.
Thank you, Mayor. Now I'd like to introduce our city manager, Greg Carpenter.
So I'm going to try to stand really close to this microphone. This is a great day. This morning I couldn't see the fire department from my office. It was so foggy, and the weather cleared, I think, for the event. I think today is really about appreciation and acknowledgement. Appreciation for a number of groups that the father mentioned, and acknowledgement for the work that you do. I'd like to start by recognizing and appreciating our former fire department employees who are here. Can you please stand or wave your hand? No fighting. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies, if there are any ladies in our former employee group, for setting the tradition and the example that carries on today. You see it here, and you'll continue to see it in the words that are spoken by the chief as he gets up here. The second group I wanted to recognize are the families of the firefighters. Can you please stand or wave your hands if you're here? Thank you, families. The people that you support hopefully see El Segundo as their second home. We certainly see them as part of our family. I know that there are missed holidays, or missed baseball games, or missed plays and performances that come along with having a family member in this profession, but we certainly appreciate the work they do, and we appreciate your support for what you put up with and what they do for us. And then finally, I want to thank our active personnel. Folks, it is truly an honor to be your city manager. It's a privilege. I get to see a glimpse of what you do every day. I get a morning report. The chief briefs me weekly on what you do. I see the monthly statistics, but those are really only part of the story. The real important part of the story is how you do your work. And as the mayor said, most of us have seen it or we've heard about it. I personally have seen you work with our employees, with some of my family members, and how you go about your work really exemplifies, I think, public service and local government. You have compassion, care, professionalism that you show for our residents and our business people. So thank you very much, and it is truly a privilege to be your city manager. Now, the second role I have up here at the stage today is to present your chief with his badge. Chris Donovan started with us 14 months ago, and yes, he did pass probation. He's got it. First he's heard that, I think, is today. But when Kevin Smith left us in late 2015, we knew we were going to have a challenge filling Kevin's shoes, and we are truly lucky. Sometimes things happen for a reason. Chris brings us enthusiasm, energy, and experience. He truly cares about this city in a very short period of time. He focuses on people, places, and things. People in that he's been pushing training, recruitment, staff development. As far as places, we're working on this fire station. Hopefully it's going to look quite a bit better in 4 or 5 months. And things. This new fire truck that is 1 day old. Fire engine, which is 1 day old, yep. Straight from Wisconsin. We are truly lucky to have Chris here. I really appreciate what he does. I'd like to ask his family, Jamie, his wife Jamie, his daughter Ava, and his son Connor to come up, and they are going to pin his badge. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Glad you're doing it.
Chief, the stage is yours.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Mr. Dugan, thanks for putting the first scratch on our fire engine. We'll be passing the invoice to you for the repair for that. And it certainly is a privilege to be here to celebrate this incredible, joyous event. Before we continue today's program, I'd like to take a moment and thank once again the City Council for being here, for continuing to support this fire department. Mayor Fuentes, Mayor Pro Tem Boyos, who could not be here, Council Members Persick, Dugan, and Brand. If you could please stand up one more time to be recognized, I would appreciate that. So thank you. Thank you. We also have with us a lot of important people that support the fire department. Those are the members of our great city staff, be it the police department, public works, parks and rec, the library, our IT personnel. The list goes on and on. Finance, there's Joe looking at me saying don't spend any more money. Really, this is a team effort, and I'd like to take a moment and thank those city staff members. Please raise your hand and be acknowledged for your hard work and effort. Today's event is in large part due to the efforts of engineer Jeff Gurney, who a couple of weeks ago came to my office and said, "Chief, I got a great idea," and proceeded to talk about the Centennial celebration and badge pinning. In an extremely short window of time, Jeff, with the support of his fellow firefighters, as well as the outreach from Captain Jim Toulette, who you'll hear from in a moment, they really went above and beyond and put this day's event together. In addition to being this year's Firefighter of the Year recipient, Jeff Gurney is in large part responsible for today's event, and I'd like to personally thank you for that. Good job, Jeff. And as Greg mentioned, certainly last but not least, I'd like to take a moment and thank those family members that are with us today. I know firsthand, thanks to my wife Jamie and our kids, Connor and Ava, that is the support of family that makes all the difference in the world when it comes to the profession of firefighter. This is not an easy job, and in fact, it's often very hard on our loved ones. The sacrifices that are made during long periods away from home, missed holidays and birthdays, or the many times that we come home tired, or have thoughts on recent emergency calls that were difficult, and instead of focusing on our family members, we focus on those calls. It is the love and support that family members provide to our El Segundo firefighters, which make it all the more easy for us to serve this great community. So I say thank you for your love and support, and I'd like to acknowledge that today is as much a celebration of our 100-year anniversary as it is a celebration of you. So thank you very much. Today, on this day 100 years ago, the city of El Segundo took its first action. It was 100 years ago that the Board of Trustees adopted a resolution to organize a volunteer fire department. In a moment, you're going to hear more about the history of this department, but I want to take a few minutes to describe some of the important observations that have stood the test of time. Just as those 18 community-minded locals who first stepped forward in 1917 following a devastating fire in the downtown district pledged their support to the community, today we have 50 professionals that place the interest of the community above all else. Whether you're a resident, business owner, or visitor, the El Segundo Fire Department has no greater calling than helping those in need. In fact, we talk about the needs of the community above the needs of self frequently. Just as our forefathers did 100 years ago, the members of the El Segundo Fire Department stand ready to provide exceptional fire and life safety service, although that service provided today is quite a bit more sophisticated and advanced than that provided by the firefighters that drove the 1917 American LaFrance with an 800-gallon water tank pump and some hose. As a way of contrast, behind me today, with a small scratch, 100 years after the first engine was purchased, stands the latest asset in our fleet. A triple combination pumper that holds 500 gallons of water and can pump 1,500 gallons per minute, along with an arsenal of tools that help us mitigate all emergencies. Sure, the cost was a little bit more than the $5,375 we spent, but this fire engine is a true example of the continued support that the community has provided to the members of the El Segundo Fire Department, allowing us to provide fast, efficient fire and life safety service to those in need. And for that community, we certainly thank you. The roles of the firefighter have certainly expanded over the last century as the El Segundo Fire Department continues to evolve in serving the changing needs of our community. Along with great apparatus and equipment, today we are proud to provide some of the best pre-hospital medical life support in the region using cross-trained firefighter paramedics. We spend countless hours training to fight fires, be they high-rise, commercial, single-family, industrial, or nuisance fires. We conduct technical rescue operations, respond to hazardous material incidences, provide urban search and rescue operations, mitigate floods, handle gas leaks, provide public education, conduct disaster preparedness activities, and perform community risk reduction activities through our Fire Prevention and Environmental Safety Division. We respond to and mitigate all risk, whether natural or man-made. No matter what the emergency, the men and women of the El Segundo Fire Department are well-equipped, well-trained, and stand operationally ready to respond to all emergencies. And we do it following some basic principles that have been forged and refined over the past 100 years. You see it painted on the side of our apparatus, and we are extremely proud of our motto, courtesy and service. Recently, the department completed a process in which the firefighters determined the purpose that best captures the why we at the El Segundo Fire Department exist. Our purpose: we are committed to protecting our community against all risk. And finally, we developed some simple values that speak to how we will carry ourselves today and into the future, and how we will hold each other accountable while providing exceptional fire and life safety services. It is our commitment to the community, as it has been for the past 100 years, that the men and women of the El Segundo Fire Department will strive to serve with integrity, compassion, dedication, teamwork, and professionalism. El Segundo in Spanish translates to the second, named after the second oil refinery in California. The changes and advances that have occurred over the past 100 years are too numerous to capture here today, but one thing is certain and has remained constant over the past century. No matter what the emergency, no matter what the demand, the men and women of the El Segundo Fire Department are dedicated to this community and feel blessed to help those in need, providing service that is second to none. So, now it is my great honor to follow the tradition of the fire service, to recognize and pin badges on those employees that have been hired or promoted in the past 2 years. Unfortunately, we have 3 members that could not be here today, and I'd like to acknowledge firefighter paramedic Kevin Carpenter, fire engineer Levi Larkin, and fire captain Evan Sifke for their promotion. So the next part of this event is as much the employee and family's time as it is our time. So with that, please, as I call the individuals up, take as many pictures as you'd like and spend as much time as you'd like in recognizing our folks that have been hired and promoted. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you firefighter Mike Davis, whose mom Pat and dad Hugh will pin his badge.
Well done, Mike. Thank you. All right.
Firefighter Eric Anderson, who's asked his mom Pam and dad John to pin his badge. Thank you. Firefighter Edon Dewick, whose brother Simon is here. Way to go, Simon. And last but not least, firefighter Nicholas Howell, who's asked his dad Pat to pin the badge. Next is the rank of firefighter, and this is unique in that we have it as a rank where other organizations have it as a classification. So this individual actually had to go to school and training and then take a promotional exam to get this promotion. He worked extremely hard. Firefighter paramedic Adam Cruz, whose son Nicholas is going to pin him. Come on, Nicholas. Okay, this is unique. Engineer Andy Powell, whose first day on the job as an engineer is today. Talk about planning. His wife Kate will pin the badge. Next is Engineer Brian Partlow, whose wife Jenna will pin his badge. We now reach the rank which is truly the backbone of our organization. These are the frontline supervisors who really have tremendous influence on the organization, and we're quite lucky to have promoted 3 outstanding individuals. First, I'd like to introduce Captain Dan Engler, whose dad Tom will pin the badge. There you go. Next is firefighter Antonio Del Castillo, whose wife Liza will pin the badge. Last but not least, Captain Don Dennis, whose wife Layla, daughters Yasmin and Soraya are coming to pin the badge. Okay, finally we have 2 chief officers that have been waiting desperately and long for these badges, and they're well deserving of them. First, Battalion Chief Nathan Cook. And last but certainly not least, Battalion Chief Sean Bonfield, whose daughter Sarah is here to pin the badge. If I could ask all of the personnel who have been pinned the badge to please approach and stand in front of the fire engine, I would appreciate it. And as they assemble, I'd like to acknowledge Mayor Pro Tem Drew Boyles, who was able to arrive, and we appreciate you being here. Thank you, sir. They've already been sworn in by the city clerk, but one of the great things is we have a policy that says the fire chief, for ceremonial reasons, can issue the oath of office, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to do it. So, gentlemen, if you'll please raise your right hand and repeat after me. And when I say state your name, I mean state your name. I state your name. Do solemnly affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely, without mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. You guys did a lot better than I did. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief. I would now like to introduce to you, well, you've already been introduced. He was pinned today. He's the El Segundo Firefighters Association President, Andy Powell.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to echo a lot of the same sentiments that have already been expressed here today. So, first and foremost, thank you to Jeff Gurney for putting this event together. We don't have anybody in our organization that I think could do a better job than Jeff did today. He truly has a passion for the history of this organization. He did awesome, so we appreciate him doing that. Second, I want to recognize Chief Donovan. 14 months on the job as we stand right now. We're fortunate to have a chief who is as progressive as he is, still willing to look in the past and recognize the traditions that have made this place what it is. Third and foremost, I'd like to thank the retirees we have here today. We are so fortunate to ride on the coattails of what you all have built for us. This is a special, special place, and it's only because of what you all have done. And then, like the chief said, lastly, we want to recognize all the family and friends and everybody that supports this organization, because without you, this organization wouldn't be what it is. So, again, thank you all for being here, helping us to celebrate, and enjoy your day.
I have to get used to calling you engineer now. But now I'd like to bring up our department historian, Captain Jim Tillett.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me back there? Pretty sure you can all see me. Just in the way. My name is James Salette. I'm a captain with the City of El Segundo Fire Department. I'm proud to say I've served this community for 26 years. I've been asked to speak about the department's traditions and history. I'm truly honored because of my connection with the older retirees and our current bravest firefighters here. This is my family, both of these people. The guys who've taught me how to be a fireman and the ones that I'm teaching how to become firemen. I will speak about dates in our histories, some great achievements, some tragic moments. I will tell you stories that will give you a sense of the type of characters that have come through this door. But most of all, I want you to understand the culture of our beloved fire service, the commitment these brave men and women responded to emergencies every day and night. I'm going to do a little bit of the same thing Chief Donovan did, okay? There they go, see? It's okay. I'm going to talk about recently the one things that we didn't change as we went through that process of changing our motto, our I'm getting a lot for woo. Sorry, Chief. You gotta watch his face the entire time I'm up here. It's gonna change quite a bit. Okay, so courtesy and service is our motto. Commitment to protect the community from all risk. The ethos, the things that we hold dear to our heart that we're teaching our young firemen, is integrity, passion, dedication, teamwork, and professionalism. Those are the things that we summed up as a group. Okay? Bear with me, guys. I'm not a great speaker. I speak from the heart, and I put a little effort into this, and I want to share some things with you guys. The men and women who created these goals are with us today. You see, our living history is sitting amongst our crowd today. When I first came to the job, the older men would tell me that it's their job as older firemen to teach me how to become an older fireman. And I believe that. I stay true to that today. I believe in that 100%. My first order of business, it's written down, so I'm going to say it. I want to introduce our living legends. I call them the old guard. When you hear your name, please stand to be recognized. I'll go in a list of when they were hired. So the guys that are standing up first were quite a years ago. Engineer Dick Wilbanks, hired 1956, 35 years of service. Please stay standing if you can. Harry Johnson, Captain Harry Johnson, hired 1959, 27 years of service. Captain Smedley Sant, hired 59, 22 years of service. Is that right, Cap? Or more than that? He's way in the back. Captain George Lewis, hired 1968, 33 years of service. Georgie, do you hear me? Stand up. Engineer Gary Preston, hired 1968, 30 years of service. Engineer Fred Salisbury, hired 1968, 35 years of service. Captain James O'Brien. You look different, Cap. That long hair is killing me. Hired 1969, 26 years of service. Captain O'Brien in the back, white hat. Fireman Phil Strauss, hired 1969. I believe 8 years of service. There you go. Firefighter paramedic James Burdick, hired 1973, 30 years of service. James in the back, stay standing please. Battalion Chief John Bybee, hired 1975. 30, how many years, Chief? 35 years of service. Who did the math on this? It wasn't me. I'm good at math. Spelling's my problem. Battalion Chief Dave Sharp, hired 1976, 31 years of service. Engineer John Gutierrez, hired 1977, 29 years of service. Captain Phil Lambeth, hired 1980, 28 years of service. Way to go, Phil. Firefighter paramedic Joe Williams, I call him the troll. 29 years of service. Joe, I love you. He used to tease me relentlessly for a lot of different reasons. Battalion Chief Mark Early, hired 1985, 30 years of service. Captain Harold Nix, hired 1985, 30 years of service. Thank you, Hal. Thanks for being here. Engineer Carson James, hired 1986, 30 years of service. Engineer Mike Archambault, hired 1987, 24 years of service. Rosemary Radomski, hired 1990, 21 years of service. There we are, right there. Sandy Wyckoff, hired, don't have a hire date. 1986, and how many years, Sandy? 15 years of service. I want to read something to you guys real quick. These men are the royalty that stand before you of our fire department. 100 years of excellence. These men have a prominent place in our tradition and histories of our fire department. Each and every one of you should be proud of what you've accomplished. I know the young firemen are aware of these traditions because the traditions continue. Thank you for paving the path, brothers. Thank you. Round of applause. Oh, who we missed? Rich Geyer. I'm sorry, Battalion Chief Rich Geyer. Always on. Is there anybody I missed? Mike Chittister. I'm sorry. I'm only as good as the information. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, old guard. Appreciate it. How are we doing on time, Chief? We're all right? Watch his face. It gets better. All right, the Centennial, I thought about this. 100 years today, we opened our doors with one goal, to protect the city and the people who live and work in here. Men who are willing to sacrifice themselves for others, a true servant's heart. In the past 100 years, we've never closed our doors. We've been open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We never refused to respond, no matter what the challenge. We never lost focus on our goals. The Segundo Fire Department has protected the city for the past 100 years. I don't know why I'm reading this. Located south of the Los Angeles Airport, the city is composed of 5.5 square miles, overlooking the Pacific Ocean, and has a residential population of approximately 16,000. Daytime population can swell over 80,000. This increase is due to the vast population and the facilities such as Chevron, Mattel, DirecTV, Xerox, Northrop, Boeing, Raytheon, Aerospace, and the Air Force Base. And I notice we have some brothers from all over here. We have Boeing Fire represented, I believe Manhattan. Do we have some Chevron firefighters here? They were invited over. So I'm going to get into the story a little bit about about how we became, a little more history, dates and times. But before the date 100 years ago, there was some backstory that I was able to research, was that there was a fire in 1898 in Los Angeles, the Standard Oil Refinery, which was located in Los Angeles. Due to a careless worker in his horse-drawn carriage with the petroleum in the back, trying to take a smoke break, he burnt the refinery to the ground because of water protection. They didn't have enough water protection. So part of the reason when the people came here to survey this area, although the shipping, having the ability to ship their product at sea, was also water protection. So a lot of the reasons why we came to this area was because of a fire in 1898. The first big fire was on Richmond in 1914. We established a fire district in 1915 through the LA County Board of Supervisors. Next page. Obviously, April 18th, 1917, we developed a volunteer fire department. In 1918, a year later, we established the first position in the fire department. It was the fire engineer, most important position in the fire department. What do you say, a few of you guys? Some of our drivers now. These are the guys that actually pump the rigs and keep us safe and park our rigs, blocking the street where you have to go around quite a bit, and we block off the streets. In 1948, we received our first fire rescue. We got into the EMS kind of field, but not the paramedic field at that time. In 1974, we developed our paramedic program. 1990, we developed a USAR program. It's a single resource heavy rescue. It's a program established by the fire department, highly technical advanced rescue program, can provide life-saving services during major disasters such as catastrophic earthquakes, natural disasters, or man-made disasters anywhere in the state of California. Getting some fun facts. In 1990, we hired our first female firefighter, Dina Carr. Where are you at? In 1907, we promoted our first female firefighter, Captain Dina Lee. Where are you at, Dina? Oh, right there in the back. Hi, Dina. In the last 100 years, we've been through 4 fire stations, 12 fire engines, 4 ladder trucks. Most recently, we got a tiller truck that counts. We have a new position created, a tillerman. 8 rescue ambulances, 14 fire chiefs. 14 fire chiefs. I lied, it was 14. We've been through 288 personnel have walked through this door. Each one of them has brought personality to this department and character, creating our culture. Fire chiefs, battalion chiefs, captain, engineers, paramedics, prevention officers, fire marshals, supporting staff, environmental specialists. These all individuals have helped create our culture. Once again, I would like to recognize 4 current members raised here in El Segundo. These are the guys that are firemen with us that were raised here in El Segundo, like I just said. Engineer Brian Partlow, where you at? Engineer Nate McElroy. Firefighter paramedic Adam Cruz. And engineer Jeff Gurney, we've all heard of him. He's the guy with the nice mustache. El Segundo has enjoyed proud tradition of providing high quality service to the community. The department is committed to continuing this tradition through excellent services into the future. I'd like to tell you a short story about the first time as I got developed into the department historian. I was ordered by Captain O'Brien to go down in the basement and clean it out. As we were cleaning it out, I was coming across these great photos and receipts for our first hose cart that were bought in 1909. And I asked Captain O'Brien if I could organize it, put it together, and he allowed me to do that. And that's where I've developed a relationship with a lot of retirees. One in particular, as I was going through, I noticed this one picture, William Coulter. He was a battalion chief here. He was one of the original 6 firemen we hired in 1947 when we became a paid professional fire department. But I noticed at the back of the picture, they kept saying Billy High Pockets. And I didn't really know what to think about it. So once again, if you join the fire service, you're definitely going to get a nickname. So I found out he was still living, and I wanted to call him and ask him about the fire station over on Richmond that we'll be passing today, because he had insight. That's where he first started. Got on the phone. I went out. I think he was in Sun City years ago, 20 years ago, and I went to record him and interview him. As soon as I answered the door, I realized they called him High Pockets. He had his pants right about up to here. And it was very insightful. We had a great time going through the interviewing process, and his wife was actually very helpful for me. I mean, I got a nice lemonade and some vanilla cookies and sat in a plastic seat at the table. And it was great to get to know him and understand where the history of our fire department. So I came back and I was sitting down with one of our senior engineers, and I told him about the visit. He goes, "Oh yeah, Billy High Pockets." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "He was a character. He went in our fire prevention office, and he was a battalion chief for us." And he says, "That's not the best of it." I said, "His pants were up to here," and he tells me, "That's not the best of it." I go, "What's that?" You should go out to lunch with him one time, because when he goes to pay for lunch, he reaches for his wallet like this. So I thought that was quite interesting. At this point, I would like to call up our rookies. Edon, Powell, Anderson, Mikey, the 2 of you over here, the 2 of you over here. This is gonna be good. All right, where am I at? I brought the rookies up. I want to talk a little bit at what you learned at the kitchen table in the fire service. And I want you guys to watch their faces as I tell you this story, because it was probably the same expressions that I had on my face when this story was told to me. You ready, Chief? Got to watch his face too. So, as a young fireman at the kitchen table, I asked my senior fireman, I won't tell his name. Well, he's not here, I might tell you later. But I asked him the question. I said, "What's the most interesting call you've ever been on?" And he says, "That's easy. I wanted a call where there was a 500-pound gorilla on the top of someone's roof." And at this point, I'm looking there. Remember, rule number 1 as a rookie, keep your eyes and ears open and your mouth shut. But I'm sitting there looking at this guy thinking, the 70s was pretty hard on this guy. And I went on to ask this, "So tell me about it." He said, "Well, we responded out. There was a 500-pound gorilla sitting on this person's roof. We responded out. We got there. We were met by the reporting party. Guy in his robe. He says, walked outside to go get the newspaper. I was walking in. There's a 500-pound gorilla sitting on my roof. Captain looks up. Sure enough, there's a 500-pound gorilla sitting on his roof." captain was taken back, didn't know what to do. So he calls dispatch and asks for animal control or any resource that they can get out there to mitigate this problem. So not too long later, dispatch calls back and says, "You guys believe in this? Are they straight fast?" There is a moral of the story at the end, I want to tell you, okay? The dispatch tells him, "Yeah, we found a gorilla removing service. They'll be responding out." Sure enough, gorilla moving service gets out. They pull up. Guy gets out, meets with the captain, says, "Hey, there's a 500-pound gorilla on the roof." He says, "Yeah, happens all the time." You know, like what? So the guy starts pulling out equipment. He pulls out a ladder, a bat, a dog, a cage, and a shotgun. The captain says, "Whoa, what's going on here? I need to figure this out. I need to be part of the whole process here. So what are you going to do?" He says, "Well, I'm going to take this ladder, I'm going to put it against that roof. I'm going to climb up with this bat, and I'm going to hit that gorilla on the head. It's going to roll off onto the ground, and this pit bull is trained to chomp down on the growing of that gorilla until I can secure it and put it in that cage." Captain's like, I don't know. Okay, well, he says, "Let's do it." So the guy hands his captain the shotgun. Captain says, "What's this shotgun for?" He says, "Well, if I climb up this ladder and that gorilla hits me on the head and I fall off this roof, I want you to shoot that dog." It took me a few years to understand why my senior fireman was trying to teach me. We train every day as if our life depends on it, because someday it will. His lesson to me was be prepared for the unexpected, the unusual conditions that confront you. If you join the fire service, you will be exposed to some of the worst things imaginable. Using your wit will save your life. Keeping your faith, knowing that you are helping people with their worst day, is what drives you. Thank you all, and Godspeed. Thank you.
Okay, I think we're about ready for our next Centennial. No, thank you very much, Jimbo. That was a literal timeline. No. As we're approaching the end of our ceremony, I'd like Father Alexei Smith to join me up here at the front and perform benediction.
I don't know that I can follow the gorilla, however. Please bow your heads with me as we pray once again. Blessed are you, Lord God of all mercies. Send down your blessings on these, your servants, the members of our El Segundo Fire Department, who so generously devote themselves to helping others. When the alarm sounds and they're called to aid us, may they faithfully serve you in all of us. Now, O Lord, dismiss your servants in peace according to your word. Amen.
A few brief words. To the firefighters before us, thank you. Thank you for building the fire department that we have today, one that we are proud of. To the firefighters of today, thank you. Thank you for your dedication, guarding our rich tradition in step with meeting the needs of the ever-changing community in which we serve, with pride, honor, and sacrifice. To the firefighters of tomorrow, thank you for carrying the torch that was lit long ago and still burns bright with integrity, compassion, dedication, teamwork, and professionalism. You must continue to embolden these values for centuries to come. We now participate in our ceremonial procession to our old fire station on Richmond Street. All uniformed personnel, family, friends, retirees, invited guests, please rise. Please join us and be led on a historical march through the streets of El Segundo to our old fire station, through Old Town.